First things first, I, 24 female, have been dating Kyle, 25 male, for 2 months now. He has started to spend the night. Kyle never grew up with pets, so my cat has been an adjustment to him. His words. My cat's Crumb, 4 male, is the most important aspect in my life right now. Like most cat parents, he rules the household. We are very close since I found him abandoned on the side of the road as a 3-month-old kitten and nursed him back to health. Crumb is very docile, but hasn't shown any affection or really interest in Kyle. I don't force it. Crumb does as he does. Lately, Kyle has been complaining about Crumb. I guess he walked into my bathroom to see Crumb rubbing his face against my toothbrush. I have one of the electric ones that stands. He was shocked and told me how disgusting it was. I laughed and said, "Yeah, that's not great." He demanded I get a new toothbrush, expensive, and I said no. I just put the toothbrush in a jar. Next, Kyle says he doesn't like my nightly routine with Crumb. I give Crumb a kiss on the head, stomach, and then face before he goes to sleep. He sleeps on my bedside table in a cat bed. If I don't do this routine, he lays on me until I do. I know that's annoying, but that's how it has been, and I love doing it. Well, Kyle says I am unhygienic because of this. He says Crumb is dirty. He is inside only, and I brush him every day. And even letting him sleep in the bedroom is gross and gets fur everywhere. It doesn't, but Kyle isn't even allergic, so I told him that I put the toothbrush away, but he told me that I took it as a joke and didn't punish Crumb. I tried to explain that you can't punish cats, nor would I want to in this scenario, but he wouldn't hear it. He then went on to say that me kissing Crumb is disgusting, especially in the face, and he won't ever kiss me if I kissed Crumb again. He asked me to put Crumb outside the room when he's over or lock him in a crate. So I said, okay, bye. Not only is Crumb 10,000 times more important to me, but I laughed in Kyle's face about never kissing my cat again or keeping him locked. This is where I may be the a-hole. Kyle told me I was ruining our future and how mean I am for laughing at his concerns. I felt guilty, so I asked a group of my friends and they were split. The pet owners laughed. The non-pet owners said I am in the wrong for not making Kyle feel more comfortable. They said that Kyle wasn't asking me to get rid of Crumb, just compromise with him. They said I was being kinda gross and understand his concerns. Not the a-hole. I agree that letting Crumb rub up against your toothbrush is not exactly hygienic. For that one, you may want to replace the head of it. But everything else is Kyle's problem. I have an 8-month-old kitten. She has decided we were soulmates. She doesn't like cat beds. She sleeps with me and my husband. To clarify though, the kitten sleeps on top of the bed covers near where my feet are. Crumb lives with you. The boyfriend only visits. If anyone has to get in a crate, it should be him. I'm allergic to cats. Will die before I give mine up though. Thorough cleaning of items also works too. Not the a-hole. Everyone is different, and you are going to get various opinions. After my divorce and I started online dating, and I kept an eye out for profiles where the woman has a pet photo. I skipped writing to anyone like that. I am allergic to most animals if they are kept indoors. And if a woman has a photo of themselves with their pet on their profile, I knew the pet would be an issue for me. I personally agree with him and the toothbrush, but this is your cat, and you have to find someone you are compatible with. Just because you date someone doesn't mean you are compatible. That's the point of dating. You can see how the two of you are not compatible. Not the end of the world. It doesn't make either of you wrong either. Just not a match. I, female 30, have been with my husband Ted, 34 male, for 4 years, and we got married 2 years ago. His family and I haven't really gotten along too well. They're rich and are all about image. I only see them on occasion, but that's when the drama is at its highest rate. Last Christmas, Ted and I traveled to spend Xmas with them, and it was awkward for some reason. After we went back to the hotel, his mom sent me a list of all the things I've done wrong at her house, like bringing wrong types of desserts and wearing inappropriate clothes. I wore a blouse and leather jacket, and not standing up when guests arrived. This year, mother-in-law only sent an invitation to Ted to spend Christmas with family. He told me his mom didn't invite me because of my last year's negative points. and would rather have just him there this year. I was flabbergasted. I asked if he was actually considering going after his mom excluded me, and he shrugged and said yes, because he never spent Christmas away from family his entire life and isn't about to break the cycle now. He suggested I go out, invite Regina, my best friend, over, or just plan my own celebration, and said, but nothing too crazy, capiche? I was upset, but hey, if they don't want me, then I shouldn't force it and try to not feel hurt and offended. I found out that it's not just my mother-in-law, but father-in-law and Ted's brothers figured it would be best that I don't attend their Xmas and instead go to my own family, claiming they were giving me the options to decide. And also, they claimed they don't want to force me to be with them since we have some tension between us. Yesterday, Ted came home asking if his bags were ready since it was time to go. I said, I don't know, and he was stunned. He freaked out, saying I knew he was going to travel to his hometown, and I should have packed his bags like I always do. I admit that packing his bags is what I do, but only when we're leaving together. And I figured since he was traveling on his own, then he should pack them himself. He lost it, saying I just caused him to be late and ruined all of the flight, hotel, other reservations arrangements he had, just because I was being bitter because I wasn't invited to Xmas celebration with his family. We had a heated argument, and he said, "Look, you're really overreacting right now, because it's not like I'm going away on a vacation to another country to spend with some strippers and whatnot. Though I'm pretty certain you wouldn't be as half-pissed and agitated as you are now. I'm just going to spend time with my family, and quite frankly, I don't know what it is with you anymore." Then proceeded to call me petty and say I got him in trouble and punished him by not packing his bags for him, knowing he was going to travel. He packed his bags in a rush and ended up forgetting most of the gifts he got for his family. He's now not speaking to me. Am I the a-hole? You are the a-hole. Staying married to this man when he clearly should be married to your mother-in-law is just an a-hole move. Apologize when he gets back. Get divorced and let those two lovebirds get on with their lives. Not the a-hole. And why are you with this guy again? He wants to spend Christmas with his family, but you're his family now. He doesn't defend you when his mother makes ridiculous demands, and he should have. And he expects you to pack his bags like a good little housewife or maid? It doesn't sound like he respects you, or you are even a priority to him. Honey, here is what you do. Pack up the rest of his belongings. Everything. Your friend Regina can help. Tomorrow you call and wish him Merry Christmas. And while he is there, tell him you need to look for somewhere to live. Your stuff is packed and you are not coming back here. Get a storage locker and put all of his stuff there. Today you call a lawyer and file for divorce. Your marriage is over and you have a life of hell if you even consider staying with this guy. Get moving and start packing. You have plenty of time. I, 33 male, lost my 27-year-old brother to cancer a couple of months ago. We were so close and had a lot in common. He was a gamer and had all types of gaming gear, including a gaming chair that he wanted me to have before he died. It's devastating because we were really hoping and had plans to spend Christmas 2021 together. This chair I consider special because it was my brother's favorite of all gear, and it reminds me of him whenever I sit in it. I don't play anymore. It just brings me closer to him to a degree I cannot explain, and it brings me so much comfort. I keep the chair in my office, and days ago, I found out that my fiancée, who has been out of a job and complaining about no longer being able to attend the gym, took the chair and sold it online to be able to pay for her next month's gym membership. When I found out, I flipped out hugely and had a very negative reaction. She told me that she was desperate for money, and after selling all she had no choice but to sell the chair. I reminded her of who this chair belongs to. She said I already have tons of keepsakes from my brother, and so I shouldn't act like it was the end of the world. She also vented about her past eating disorders and her anxiety when it comes to keeping fit, and claimed I was dismissing that she is struggling. I yelled at her and called her inconsiderate and selfish, and told her she should have never ever took and sold any of my stuff for a gym membership when she literally could have kept working out from home. She started crying and we argued. Then she went to stay with her mom, who tried to give me a stern talk about my attitude. But I didn't answer that, and haven't been talking to my fiancé since then. Things haven't got better and I got called overdramatic for reacting and treating my fiancé like that over a gaming chair. I feel guilty because I've never yelled at her in my entire life before. She told me if I say I was struggling and needed money and sold some item she had, then she wouldn't be mad at me. But I'm not sure, since I'd never do such thing. But still, she insisted that no matter what I do, she'll always be supportive and understanding, just like I should be supportive and understanding of her struggle right now. That made me feel horrible because she had a breakdown and cried because of me. Am I the a-hole? Was I too hard on her? Not the a-hole. Call the person who bought the chair and tell him that he's bought stolen property. If your fiancé still refuses to do anything about getting it back, then you may need to report it to the police as stolen and get it returned to you that way. Your fiancé knew exactly what she was doing and has shown that she doesn't care about your property, the meaning behind the gift of it, and who it belonged to. Your fiancé is old enough to know that her actions can have consequences, and she can now face them, and too bad if her consequences are of the legal kind due to her theft. Not the a-hole. She sold something of great sentimental value to you in exchange for a vanity gym membership, and you would be absolutely correct that she could have just worked out at home. If it came down to selling something that wasn't hers to sell and having access to a gym, then she tried to turn the table on you by making you feel bad for being upset at her awful decision. Essentially, she stole from you, then tried to make you feel bad about it. Big red flag, my dude. I would have flipped too. It was literally textbook definition theft. OP, as others have pointed out from what's been described by you, you are being completely used by this woman. To top it off, she used mental health issues to justify her wrongdoings. As someone who has problems with that, not saying she doesn't, I am extremely disgusted by her. Using them to excuse bad behavior is just pathetic and brings crappy stereotypes. Why? Because she can't accept not having a fancy freaking gym membership for a little bit? You gotta ask yourself where the line is. Because if you let this slide, she'll just do it again. Hi, a couple of weeks ago we had a new employee hired at the company. He's a good guy and a widower named James, 36 years old. And to my knowledge, his late wife passed away 8 months ago. Me, female, 32 years old, and the other coworkers got along well with him. However, I noticed that he is still wearing his wedding band on his finger. It kind of confused me a bit, and I couldn't help but bring it up with him while on lunch break. We talked, and I pointed out that he was being misleading by still wearing his wedding band when he's a widower. He looked quite bothered by what I said. I tried to explain that I think that he was giving people the wrong idea or impression about his relationship status, since he's technically single and on his own right now. Don't want to sound cruel, but I'm speaking from a technical angle. James said that he didn't give it much thought, meaning he don't care what people think, and that even if he wasn't wearing his wedding band and some woman approached him, he'd still turn them down, since he's obviously not interested. For some reason, things got awkward, and everyone stopped eating and just stared at James and me. I told him, I don't know, but that really felt generally misleading of him, as in making people think he is in a relationship, married, when he is not, regardless of how he felt about being in a relationship. He got upset, called me rude, and said that I repeatedly disrespected his marriage and his late wife's memory with what I said, then took his stuff and walked away. My coworkers said regardless of who is right or wrong, though some said he overreacted, there was no reason for me to bring this up on the first place and cause the scene and make James upset with us like that. Now he's not speaking to me and others who sided with me. Am I the a-hole? Did I overstep or did he overreact? This was just a conversation we were casually having with the other coworkers, and I didn't use any insensitive tones or anything. But we had a discussion and it suddenly turned into an argument. I tried to let things calm down, but the situation got out of my hand unexpectedly. You're the a-hole. Oh my god, you're the a-hole. He is still in a relationship. He still feels married. He has only been a widower for 8 months. He does not owe anyone information about whether he is single or otherwise. The point is that he is not available. For being 32 years old, you haven't learned a lot, have you? Just be quiet. You don't know what you're talking about. I am embarrassed for you. You're the a-hole. His marital status is none of your business, and he is still married technically since his wife passed away. They were married and not divorced when she died. You were grossly overstepping and being very unprofessional. I would report you to HR. What does his marital status have anything to do with your job? And he wasn't soliciting your advice. He was even polite about your very uncouth behavior. You are completely wrong. James didn't overreact, and you are lucky that you are not in front of HR explaining your hostile, inappropriate behavior. You badly overstepped. First off, his marital status is irrelevant to this job and job performance. Therefore, this was an entirely inappropriate workplace conversation. Second, it is extremely common for widows and widowers to wear their wedding ring until they're emotionally ready to acknowledge that their marriage is over, because in their minds, they are still married and therefore not single. It is unbelievably not your business to cast judgment on that. Third, the only potential way this could be misleading is to potential romantic partners, unless you were hitting on him, which could be sexual harassment given that he clearly indicated he wasn't interested in a relationship. That's not you. Besides, it's literally not misleading, since he's not interested in a relationship, which he explained to you. You were cruel. You harassed a new coworker on the basis of his marital status, illegal in some states. And you made a man who is still grieving his wife feel unwelcome in his new workplace. You are the a-hole, and I hope you get written up by HR.